Hey, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Chris, this is Willow Hikes, and I am currently off trail on purpose, and I'm looking for a place called Hidden Lake. Kind of fitting. So, if you want to go off trail, there's a lot of things you need to know before you even attempt that. And if you're a brand new backpacker, I absolutely do not suggest going off trail in your first few trips, but it can be a lot of fun, but it can be exactly the opposite of that as well if you don't know what you're doing. So let's talk about that today. So first of all, leave no trace, right? So for the most part, stay on established trails. Most of them are made to take you somewhere you want to be anyway. But occasionally, especially where I grew up, and apparently here in the Central Cascades, there's a lot of little lakes that there are no trails to. And it's a great place to go find solitude and frankly have a sense of adventure. So that's what we're doing right now. So I left the trail a while back there, but I didn't just take off into the woods for no reason with no goal. So if this is something you want to do, first of all, I highly recommend you become proficient with map and compass. Now, obviously we all have GPS nowadays, and apps with maps show you exactly where you are. And that's what I'm using right now. But those things can fail. And occasionally they will fail massively and rapidly if you drop your phone on a rock or you have a freezing night you didn't expect and no charger. So if you're going to do this, just know how to find your way around. Don't be that guy that ends up in the newspaper that everybody calls an idiot because they didn't know what they were doing. So if you read about me in the newspaper, fortunately I won't be uploading this video. All right, so earlier on this trip, I talked about three suggestions, 3 rules for planning a loop. And I didn't realize I had those rules until I started thinking about the trip that I had planned and what went into my thinking during that. And it's the same thing for going off trail. I've been out in the woods wandering around alone way before I ever started backpacking. I've never been lost, but I grew up doing that and seemed to have an uncanny sense of direction. But sometimes if you're using an app or looking at a map and it looks wrong compared to what you feel like is the right way, your natural sense of which way you should be going, this is the hard part. Trust your tools, not your brain. Every time I've questioned a map, every time I've questioned that little arrow on my phone, I trusted it against what I thought was my better judgment. And I ended up exactly where I was supposed to go. So that would be my first rule, is trust your tools. And have your tools. And if you're going to be doing this, absolutely have something to track where you are. Sorry for all the heavy breathing. I'm a heavy guy. And this is quite the slope. And if you want the glossed over perfect Instagram version of backpacking, you know who to watch. It's not me. So, gonna show you the sweaty, fat mess that is what I'm doing right now. And I am so having a good time. And glad you're with me, because talking to the camera doesn't feel quite as crazy as talking to myself all alone out here. So, reason I'm huffing and puffing is that lake is substantially higher in elevation than the trail I was following to my next camp. So we're climbing either way if we want to find this hidden lake. But the way I'm going about that brings me to the second rule I follow, and that is using natural boundaries, natural frames to the picture you're in. Kind of a loss for words. Huffing and puffing up here. But basically, what I'm saying is it's easier not to get lost if you have a border on either side that can mark your direction for you. So in this case, we're going uphill to this lake. Now I can just take off and go uphill, wander around, not check my map, and I could end up 3 miles back because I'm just going uphill, but not having any sense of keeping me in my lane. So I had two choices. Down there is a gully, natural draw with hills on either side of it. Originally, I intended to go up that to get to this lake with very little chance, if any, of getting lost, because I'm going to have a slope on either side of me if I'm going up that gully. And I know if I start climbing up to the side, I need to get back down into that draw. So that's the perfect way to go, and that's the way I mapped beforehand. And as you can see, I am not down there. Okay, I am on, instead, basically a natural ridge, because next to that gully down there comes up over here to keep you in that gully. And that way, off in the distance, this drops again. So the only reason I took this route is I came up to it before I came to the draw, and it looked like a nice open area to get off trail without a bunch of brush. And I knew by using those barriers I'm going to be able to stay on track even if I'm not following my Gaia GPS. So that was kind of a ramble, but basically what I'm saying is if you go off trail, look at that map, find some barriers that are going to keep you oriented if your phone fails. If you're looking beforehand and see there's a river a quarter mile to the right that goes all the way, and you come to that river, you know where you are. So look for those natural barriers, and maybe don't talk to the camera when you're out of breath. Okay, now I guess the third and final rule that I considered while planning this off-trail route is the halftime rule. So basically, when you're on a regular trail, your mind is on autopilot. You just follow your feet. But once you get off trail, you got to pay attention You got to navigate through brush, blow down. Sometimes you get cliffed out, have to retrace. You've got uneven ground, rocks, roots. So you're going to be moving a lot slower. And you're smart enough to know that. And I was smart enough to know that back in the day. And what I didn't know was typically I'm going to move about half as fast as I assume I'm going to move when I go off trail. So give yourself lots of time. Today, I slept in, I took my time, had 2 cups of coffee, and when I decided finally to go off trail, I checked the time. And it was before noon. I don't have a ton of miles left when I get back to the trail. But had I got here a lot later, I'd want to consider how far am I going off trail? How long is that going to take? And how long is it going to take to get back? Just because you're going downhill doesn't mean you're going to go a lot faster, because there's no trail. Now, I did find a game trail back there, and I followed that for a little bit and then jumped off because it's really easy to keep following those trails to make easier movement. But I would have ended up way off over there instead of up here where we're going. And by the way, the route I took has naturally moved me toward that gully we were talking about before. And because of that, means we've got some elevation left, but it also means we're getting close. So there's our gully. Could have come up that way. Definitely hard to get lost if you're coming up something like that. So anyway, those are my 3 rules, but I'm going to finish this out. We're going to find that lake, and whether it's absolutely amazing or terribly disappointing, I'm going to share it with you. I will see you probably about 20 minutes my time and 3 or 4 seconds your time. Okay, well, I've made it. So, yeah, was it worth it? It was worth it to you. You didn't have to climb up here. Yeah, it was worth it. Let's take a look. Oh man. Look at that. So no trail here, but it's been worth it to somebody else for sure. What a great spot. You know, I plan to camp 3 or 4 miles down past here, but I'm the only human being here. It's so calm. What a beautiful hidden lake. Wow. See that haze in the air? Noticed that when I woke up this morning. It's getting to be that time of year. Start having fires here in the Pacific Northwest. But for now, we've got this. And seems like the kind of place you'd want to build a trail to, but I think the people that build the trails keep people like you and me in mind that want a little isolation, solitude, a little adventure. So, absolutely, some of my best times backpacking are going off trail. But like I said, if you're going to do that, know what you're doing. Don't just start going off trail when you're starting out backpacking. Learn to use a map and compass. Learn to use your GPS. And always make sure You have natural features to help keep you on course. Keep in mind, it's going to take you a lot longer getting where you're going. And that first rule is the most important. Trust your tools, not your brain. If your brain's saying go one way and your map is telling you to go another, trust your map. So, totally worth it. Now the hard part, deciding if I want to do more miles on that third day out and stay right here, or tear myself away from this place after having lunch and move up the trail. Going out of here, we're going to go down that gully. There's absolutely no way of getting lost following that gully because the map says it goes right to the trail I'm taking. So again, go off trail if you want to see something beautiful that there's no trail to, if you're proficient with navigation. Also keep in mind, it's good to have some kind of a satellite GPS thing because you're a lot more prone to injury when you're not on a trail. And beyond that, if you guys have questions, leave them below. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.